Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Peacemaker live stream. I'm your host, Ronan Unchained, and today, guess what we're talking about? Guess I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a big hint of why we're going to be talking for the next hour. Thank you, Mr. Lennon. But yeah, we will be talking about Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 3. Spoilers, y'all. Again, as always, I say watch the episode as soon as you can. We got lots and lots and lots and lots to talk about. But as always, I got friends and my own 11th Street kids who I got lots to discuss with. I got Daren and Taladia. Muchachos, how y'all doing?
Hey, muchachos, my amigos, welcome.
Hello.
How are we all doing today?
I gotta say, I'm enjoying life.
Nice.
Oh.
Good.
As Darren has seen before, as he knows.
Darren, you know the scoops? You have the scoops? You know what the life he's enjoying?
Yeah, no, I mean, I heard that he's taking a trip to Candyland. He's got the gumdrops and the candy canes and whatever the heck they have in that board game.
Fair enough. All right, so episode 3, y'all. Again, last call. Spoilers. Good luck with it. Yo, he's back. He's back, y'all. I'm talking about none other than Joel Kinnaman, aka Rick Flag Jr. I was flipping the fuck out. I was literally. You guys know how much. I'll put it right now on the wall behind me in a little bit. But y'all know how much I feel about the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
This episode really was like. It's probably my favorite episode of the season thus far. Like it really, and it's weird because it's the shortest episode of the season thus far. I was fascinated how much they did with so much. They did so much with so little time. And we see Chris going through stuff you would think he would be dealing with in his own dimension, but he's dealing with in another dimension with the stuff with his brother, with Amelia Harcourt, or as the way the Peacemaker team is calling her now, Thirst Court. And the fact that now we have more context of why, how much Rick Flag Jr. meant to both Amelia and Chris, and how much that's affected their lives in both dimensions. So, immediate thoughts. Let's start with you, Darren. This time, how do you feel about this week's episode of Peacemaker Season 2?
This episode, yeah, no, I think this was, for me at least, definitely an improvement upon last week's episode. It was kind of like a branching point of what the stuff I liked from the first episode and less of what I didn't like from the second episode. I think this episode found a pretty decent balance of what it's trying to do. And I think my big takeaway from this episode is how much I'm enjoying the pacing of the season and how much I'm enjoying this kind of slow burn, because I feel like most shows this would have been like episode 2 or maybe even episode 1, where it's just like, okay, we have all these things that we have to do, we have to get through, and this is a show that's taking its time, it's setting things up, it's letting itself breathe. There's a lot of fun setup stuff here and things that are kind of being put into motion where I'm like, interesting. I'm excited to see kind of where this story is leading over these next couple of episodes. I think especially within these next 2 episodes are going to be very interesting to be like, all the theories we're kind of throwing around are either going to be proven true or proven false. So I'm very excited for more.
Beautiful. Talal, before we go with you, I just want to quick highlight the comments right here. So, hello, Keyblade, Master Jeffrey. How you doing, man? I saw that you shared the stream and tagged everyone. Thank you so much on Threads. If anybody's watching, please let the people across the globe and the universe and hell with it, the dimension that we're live across all platforms. And I'll do so right now to let people in and be like, yo, come hang out with us. We're talking Peacemaker. It is time to bring the peace. Hey, Ronan Chang, you see the City Universe for DCU? I have not. I've only seen rumors of her as Black Cat and at the Marvel side, but I have not. So I might investigate that later on.
Yeah.
Go back to you, Taladia. Again,
Yeah.
context. You haven't seen season 1. but you have seen the Suicide Squad, right?
Of course, I've seen the
Okay, so
Suicide
you've seen
Squad.
this, so
Yeah.
you have enough about this, especially with this episode.
Yes.
Please, the floor is yours.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Like, the first scene in this episode is Rick Flag Jr. in bed with Amelia Harcourt. I'm just like, what? Look, is he a true timer? I was lost for words for that. And then as progression, because here's something I did notice though, before the episode, at the beginning of the episode, it said 3 years ago. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah, the time jump or time back jump. Yes, yes.
It reminded me of Superman a little bit. Where it says 3 decades, 3 years. It reminded me a bit of that. Um,
Okay.
I gotta say though, but moving swiftly along, the episode was like jam packed of action, and I was just like, "Oh my god, action after action after action!" I'm just like, "Whoa, slow down, slow down! This is getting too quick for me." Um, Christopher Smith and his like going, "Oh, let's go to August and doing a pop quiz with his brother." I'm just like, you don't even know where August is. Like, come on, dude. It's the same address. Surely you should know that by now, right?
Yeah.
So that was a bit weird. But Amelia Harcourt in the other dimension, I felt I was like, she's a sweetheart. I'm
Yes.
sorry, she's a sweetheart. I'm just like,
For now.
yeah, for
Yes,
maybe
for now.
for for now, maybe, yeah, for now, maybe. But man, that it was just crazy to see John Cena jumping from a building to another building. You know, when there was that where he had to save a hostage situation. I thought that was brilliant. I thought the action with the thing in the ears, I thought that was well choreographed as
Oh,
well.
the John Wick thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, I was like, wow. And then, you know, towards the end, it was just like, I was just like, wow. Overall, though, I think the episode was good, but then it just went fast, real fast, and then at the 35, it was at 35 minutes, wasn't it?
Yes, about yeah. Like I think
39, I
with
think.
credits, yeah, it's 39, but I think it'd be like a 34 solid minute episode.
I'm just like thinking, why is it gone so quick? So, but overall, it's a really good episode. Really, really good episode. So, yeah, that's my take.
Nice. If anybody's injured out here, I don't know if I keep hearing shit or keep hearing ghosts and whatnot, but yeah, if someone's injured, I hope they're doing okay.
I was wondering
felt-
what that was.
That sounded like me in the morning. But yes, yeah, I think it's it's okay. So here's the thing. Again, we've always talked about how the small amount of time with these shows, how much they feel either filler-esque or they're just rushing, a plot segment, if you will. Again, I like to echo this, that another episode that doesn't feel plot heavy.
Yeah.
If it's character heavy. And it just so happens that we're at different locations throughout it. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what's in front of us. What matters is like what we're thinking in the moment. And the fact that in this same episode, Leo Adebayo and Emilia are having a heart-to-heart moment about like, yo, how are you doing? Like, are you and Chris good and whatnot? And being that like shoulder to lean on. And I feel like it's weird because now I don't know that I feel it is weird, but it's remarkable how like the balancing act of both what Chris is feeling right now, what John is dealing with in Argus, and how he's walking this tightrope of like, I don't want to get fired, but I am not betraying my friends. I want to keep them safe as much as I can. It's just I am just astounded how 3 weeks in this episode, this show is bonkers than as ever, and I'm more emotionally tied to it. Not to say season one wasn't emotional; it was emotional. Like there was again, I mean, we go back to the Suicide Squad. I felt there was more to this guy than just the douchey. What? How did they first tease it? Douchey Captain America. It's like no. There's more to this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm just astounded at what John is doing. Ah, dude, the see his reaction when he sees Rick in the altered universe. I'm like, hey Rick, how's it going, man? How you doing? And I'm like, you genuinely feel the guilt right out of him. But
PTSD. Yeah.
yeah, and I really okay. Let me say this straight. The fact that the opening scene takes place minutes, hours right before the Suicide Squad
Mm-hmm.
is bombastic. The
Yeah.
fact that that affair is occurring is bombastic. Dude, the notion of June fucking Enchantress is referenced. I'm like, yo, are you really want to do this? Like, you really want to bring it to DC? Okay, fine. Just don't give her the Hot Topic costume. That was for that movie. Give her, close to the comics look,
Yeah.
please, James Gunn, if you do that. I was shocked. Again, I had a feeling that maybe we would get Rick Flag Jr. here along the way, just not in this context. How did you feel about that element, Darren?
We've talked about it the last couple weeks how I thought he would be in the show, but like I didn't expect to see our Rick Flag, right? Like our theories were like, and I guess I was mostly right. I said, he was going to go over and he was going to see Rick Flag dating Hardcore, and it was going to be a huge thing. And that element they kind of brush over. Like, I thought it was going to be a big thing where it's like, oh no, the guy I killed is dating my wannabe girlfriend. I was like, nope, that's not really an issue. The real issue is that, oh, they have a past, and that is potentially one of the elements that's kind of keeping her back from fully committing with Chris, and what is potentially kind of I don't know, like a sore spot of her current issues. Because if you
Yes.
go back to her in Suicide Squad, like, she's serious, but she's not like she is in Peacemaker. She's a lot darker character, which makes me think that, like, oh, are these the events that kind of caused her to go down this route and to build up all of these emotions? And it kind of makes sense, someone who can't discuss this with Chris because, it's not necessarily his fault. He did technically make the right move. But also there's that element there of like, yeah, but you killed the guy I like, or you killed even if it's not in a romantic fashion, they were friends, they were long-term friends, they were almost best friends. So it's like, oh man, that's very complicated. I'm curious to see when we get down to the nitty-gritty of how that's going to go down, because that makes it a lot more complicated than I thought it would be previously.
Yeah, just on an emotional level, it's just like you feel for both sides of like, God damn, she's on this and this in the middle of this whole fuzz, and yet Chris is trying to do his best not to be. And again, even when he hangs tight in the other dimension, best dimension ever, you hear these echoes of like, as the other Chris disappeared as much, is he on the pills? Is he as douchey or more douchey than the Chris we've been following for years now? Like, it's fascinating to see that dynamic. How do you feel about it, Talati? Because I feel like your perspective is almost the same perspective that Chris has of hearing how his other life is. Again, not experiencing the first season. You hear how maybe similar they are, but you're seeing now visually how the Chris we've been following for a season and a half now, has evolved, has changed a lot, and is trying day to day to like be seen in different light.
What I've noticed with like our Chris with the other Chris is that the other Chris had a health problem, right? Which he says, "Oh, do you have the C word?" Right? And I'm just like thinking, is Chris gonna get himself checked out? Because that's the question because the security guard asked him that, if you remember, right? At August. So does that mean when Chris goes back to his dimension and all of that, will he get himself checked for health scares and stuff like that, right? And on top of that, I think what's really, really interesting was the fact that what was the fact was the dynamic between um the dynamic between Rick Flag Jr. in the other dimension and Amelia Harcourt is not the same. It's just like he's a nerd. He's a nerd in this, and
No machismo. Yeah.
I'm just like, this guy's a nerd. Like it, I don't know if you saw the podcast episode, but he was like, he got debated into being in the episode.
Well, he is. It's because comedies is not his thing. Joe Kinnaman, for what we're talking
Yeah.
about. Go watch the making of podcast that they drop every week, talking about the episode and the commentary show. He was saying like he's just not used to doing comedy, and how once he got his feet wet in it, he was like, "Oh, I had a blast doing this version because it's a 180." There's dynamics similar still of the previous the original Rick Flag.
Mhm.
But how now he's got a new version to deal with, and like again, I even took into account. Okay, that's how this Rick Flag from this dimension is. How's his relationship with his father like in this version and in this universe? And how would Rick Flag Senior react to this version of his son that's still alive?
That's a good question. That's gonna
that's
be
very.
like,
Go ahead,
yeah,
Talay.
I was gonna say that's gonna be like a whole new ball game, right? Because he's gonna be shocked more than anything, right? And
Yeah,
he's
I
gonna,
can't imagine them not doing that for one, like at least a minute of like, holy shit, there's my son.
I think
But it's
he's
not
gonna
the
man
same.
him up. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna man him up. Say, get out of the nerd status. You gotta be a man.
Keep the
I-
woman you want, bro. Don't let this
Yeah.
douchebag come to the office. But, hey, man, what's up? How you doing?
yeah.
I was fucking cracking up with that scene.
I do
Yeah.
wonder if we like keep some of these characters, right? Because like these are, especially his dad and his brother, like his dad especially was a series regular on season 1, is a series regular on season 2. If they are planning on doing a season 3, do we keep these characters? Do we try and keep this Rick Flag? What are the multiverse rules about this? Because I know like some continuities have a rules about this where it's like, oh, you can't just bring over characters from other reality. You know what I mean? So like that's going to be interesting. Does that ruin Peacemaker's arc if we have another Rick Flag? What does that mean for Rick Flag Senior? You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like there's so many questions I have going into that. They'll be interesting to see where these characters end up by the end of the season.
I agree. We got a couple of comments. Thank you so much, everybody who's been commenting. I'm back. Had to watch the last minutes of SmackDown. I don't blame you. I swear on everything that it's Earth X. Listen, okay, we can get it. We'll get back to this right now. I promise. Or a version of it. Yeah, all these episodes over the next few weeks are short, I believe. That does worry me a little bit, and that does bring my heart a little bit because and we've talked about it, as sometimes we feel that some of this material may not be balanced enough. I don't deny that I like spending time with these characters. And let's see, the only episode that we don't know the time are for the last week. Yeah, they've been it's been almost adamant each week. We're holding those close to the chest. Just wait for it. I don't even think that they might even drop trailers for next week's episode once we get to the 5th episode. But I could be wrong.
I don't think we're gonna get any trailer for 6. I think they're gonna keep that close to the chest. I feel that once episode 5 drops, because I think once we get to, I think on the day, that's when they'll drop it.
Yeah.
Like, but it won't be put out publicly till after the episode airs, right?
Yeah, unless I got lucky to cover it for Knowledge, so unless we get it early, I doubt they're gonna do that much because they did that for the last episode of season 1. There was like nobody got it early. Everybody had to watch it when it dropped on HBO. So Age of Grogu. Hey Brent, how you doing, man? Hey guys, there's no way that Langston won't have a shit fit if he ever came face to face with Hawker. I listen, the whole meta duck thing, it's stupid. It's stupid. My fair line of this, not my fair line, but my fair line of that character of Tim Meadows' character was making fun of my disability. Is it funny? Yeah, really funny. But you almost got T's killed. And I was like, oh my fucking god, I can't believe I'm laughing this shit, but it's funny. It's funny.
He's so good, to the point they just dropped the trailer for that new like DMV show. And like Tim Meadows is like a series regular on it. I think I'm like, you know what? I might have to just watch that show because he is so fucking funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
Cameron Walker asks, Ronald, if you've seen Peacemaker first 5 episodes, how is Michael Rooker's character?
We don't want to spoil it for you. Just put it like that.
Yeah, all I say is this.
Is he Mary Poppins?
No, I can reveal that. He's not Mary Poppins. He does not play Mary Poppins. I'll say this. I love Michael Rooker. I do. He was very sweet to me when I met him on a random time at Comic-Con. I'll say this. The character he plays and where that character goes, by the time I got to the episodes I watched, I would not be surprised if social media is like buzzing for those few weeks. For the next few weeks, that social media is buzzing, and how people take it a long way. That's up to people's interpretation. I was just shocked they went down the route, and I'll leave it at that.
We've had our worries. We've had our worries with that character, and he appeared in the episode, and I was like, okay.
That's a choice. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel yet. I don't know. Again, I don't know the comic characters super well either. But like, just from what I've heard people talk about, it's like, okay, they're just doing it, unless the joke is that like he's a horrible person. Like I think that, again, I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. But just like I hope that's the bit, is that like, oh, you're doing something bad by being this kind of character, kind of thing. That's kind of the bit. So we'll see. But I will say, shout out for Michael Rooker for continuously doing these comic book projects with 3 Guardians movies, basically, Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, The Walking Dead. He's all in on the comic book shit. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, he's for when I met him, when I knew he was very sweet. So I give him applause that he's always game to hang out in these different worlds and stories. Master Jeffrey says, "Hi Grogu, hi Cameron. So do you guys have any theories on who Michael Rooker character might be really in the DCU? Has more than any typical bird hunter, I think. Probably not. I would think he's just a normal hunter that apparently knows magic. He is Red Saint Wild.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with the character. I believe he's an original character. I could be wrong. But yeah,
he's in the comics, but I could be wrong with that.
I'll double check. But yeah, I've this is one character like I had always heard here and there about Peacemaker because of Watchmen and how the comedian had some similar traits, if you will. I'm not too familiar with the character, but I'm pretty sure that they're gonna make it their own in this television series. He says there is also no people of color in the Earth dimension that looks like it's a Nazi dimension. That's why Chris' father is so happy. It makes sense. He's in his own perfect world. You know what, y'all? I rewatched the episode and I was looking at the background and I was like, is this the 1950s? Yep. Is this like
I felt like terrible for actively watching for people of color. I was like, all right, I don't want to do this, but let's just for science, just for this version, like let's just like keep an eye out. And I was like, I don't see any. Our theories might be coming true.
I would be really bummed out because those heart-to-heart moments, and I'm like, no.
I'm just gonna throw not even a tinfoil hat theory, but just let me throw my stamp down right now with very few theories on the table.
Go for it.
I think alternate hardcore is the villain of season 2. I think she's the big bad. I think it would just kind of make sense. Which just like we're going over to have this character because she's the nicer version, she's a sweeter version, actually wants to be with them, but actually she's way, way worse than our version. I think she might be very bad news once we see her true colors come out. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I'm scared, y'all. Like I'm like again. You look at my videos. I'm like, this is so sweet. but it's not earned because it's cheating, and then like God forbid, that tends to play out, and it's just like, oh my fucking god, yeah, imagine, because I think he let it slip, or maybe it was by mistake. He said that Earth 2 was a dimension that they went to in the podcast. He said Earth 2, but I'm like, no, if everybody's read with these theories, I'm gonna think it's more Earth X. But it's like,
are they Earths? Like, again, that's something that me and my friend Taz have went down these rabbit holes of, us like, because I see them more as like alternate realities than other Earths,
right?
Where it's like, this is like more so alternate timelines, if you will.
Parallel universes.
Yeah,
Sure.
like, I'm not sure if Peacemaker can go on a door and find Henry Cavill and, like, Ezra Miller and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's in his capabilities, but maybe they're one and the same. I don't know.
One of them. Well, I forgot about musician's name, but the musician, Peacemaker asked his brother about the musician. He had no answer for it, right? And it doesn't exist in that universe.
The musician, I could be wrong, but I thought it was a Kardashian reference. He's like, why the hell am I dressed like a Kardashian friend? He's like, who the Kardashians? Yeah. Which is fascinating that like they don't exist in that.
Yeah.
And so that goes to show who else does or doesn't exist in this world is going to be interesting. We're missing quite a few people so far from our roster of characters, which I assume we'll get eventually. Especially Vigilante is one I'm kind of keeping an eye out for, just to be like, all right, when's he going to pop in? What's he up to?
So Keyblade has another comment that I had heard him mention in his threads, because right now they just did a whole like watch party thing on threads. Let's take a look at this. He wasn't asking if Chris has cancer. He asked if Grant did, which I assumed that they meant Ted Grant, or maybe that was reference to Grant Gustin, which is possible. I swear to God, Daren, if Ted Grant, if holy fucking shit, like that is
Ted Grant, yeah.
wild.
I could see it. I could see.
Like again, it's those subtle stuff that like, and James said like he's like that's what I was thinking of. Maybe not necessarily who it's gonna be, but that's who I was thinking of, and I'm like, holy effing shit. If that's the case, Ted Grant, our friend Jake, might have shit his pants if he had heard that. I hope we that there is a Ted Grant. If it is, I'm gonna be a happy camper. Remember correctly, James said that Red is an original character. That's what I had figured. Yeah. I don't think so either. They keep something big. Funny enough, next week's episode lands on my birthday. Happy early birthday.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday.
He can't say hello. Don't tell me he's an Indian.
He's supposed to be, yeah.
I know everyone has been worried about that. Yeah. Let's see. He will always be Mary Poppins. I agree. I also felt terrible. And then looking at, yes, if it is Ted Grant, I'm really, listen, for his sake and the vibe he has with the community on online, I really hope that those last 3 episodes deliver. Not because I'm a nerd and I want my money worth. And no. I'm just saying, like, you've been adamant of why you're not showing that. I'm like, please make it worth it that way. And he hasn't let me down yet in a big bad way. So I wanted to put my chips in line. They're like, you know what? We're gonna be rewarded for the last 3 episodes. I believe.
I hope Ted Grant just show up freaking force Jake to watch it.
Yes.
He's gonna be like, fuck, all right.
Should I send him
God damn it.
Of when they mentioned Grant? Should I send him the clip? Like, yo, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. Do that. Send it.
I might tell him, yo, Jake, jump on the stream like once we're done, and be like, all right, we're gonna put a clip. Tell us what you feel about that, and have it recording. I might even do that. We'll see.
That'd be funny. For shits and giggles.
Yeah, I'm wondering, maybe we overthinking this. The first phase is Gods and Monsters. Is Rooker a new god or not Apocalypse god or something like that?
That would be insane.
That would be insane theory.
that would be a swing.
I mean, we are doing like a Mr. Marigold animated show, which we don't know if it's canon or not. We don't know if that's Elseworld or if that's DCU, but that is happening. So,
yeah. Speaking of the Pocket Universe, do we think the end of this season will close off the Pocket Universe forever, or Argus locks it up forever? You know what? Because this is the start of a universe, I feel like eventually we will get down the line to, Crisis and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't think we should close it directly right now, but just be like, all right, we're gonna put a seal on it right now,
right,
and put it at the bottom of a big barrel, and like leave it there, and just be like, don't leave it to just one person. Like that is too much of a power to keep in one hand.
I think I agree. I think we take a pause on it. I think Argus will get it by the end of the season. We'll keep it in a vault somewhere, and then next time we need a little plot convenience, something in another DCU project, we'll be like, oh, there's that thing in Argus. Let's go get it. You know what I mean? So I think that's what we're going to do. I don't think season 3 of Peacemaker will be multiverse related. I think they'll go in a different direction if we even get a season 3 at all. Or maybe you're saving it for Man of Tomorrow, right? Because the current rumors are Peacemaker's involved with Man of Tomorrow, that he might have some kind of role in that project. So maybe that's why. Maybe Lex gets his hands on this little device or something, and that's
another run of that
movie. Yeah, I'll be like, oh my god, all right, Lex, all right, whatever.
Yeah. Jeffrey says more like an alternate dimension. Ted Grant needs something, please. LOL. Give me Ted Core. Listen, recently there's been a lot of floating. I'm like, okay, if Blue Beetle shows up, is this the Blue Beetle we know about, or is it the OG Ted Core that like what
Ted
missing?
Core vanished in Peacemaker, right? I'm sorry, in Blue Beetle.
Blue
is
Beetle.
This where he's at?
Yeah.
He got stuck over here. That'd be crazy.
If that is the case,
Ted Lasso shows up. He's like, hey guys,
bro. I would I can't, I will go full on Nutty Professor, like Hercules. I would be like, yo, this is as DC as it gets,
awesome.
In a big bad way, in a way that might be off-putting to folks, but also would be welcoming, because again, the names we're throwing at you right now, you don't need to know them. You don't need to know them. But if you do know them, you're getting as giddy as we are now, just being like, yo, the potential of these 2 or 3 or how many individuals showing up. Like, to me, and I'm so happy for Sol Rodriguez, the notion that someone like Sasha Bordeaux is in the show. The fact that we got someone like White Bunny, walking past the door in the first episode, that speaks to how much, like, there's nothing that is not, like, off, I'm not going to say off limits. Let's say that, like, the sky's the limit. Like, sky's really the limit. I mean, it's because we don't know a lot of the contracts and what the legalities of like what characters can be used, what characters can be used. But like in terms of imagination, just the sky is the limit. I'm telling you, y'all. I mean, right now, Jeffrey said, Mr. Miracle is going to be good. Mark my words. I hope so too. But again, who thought there'd be a big push to just go with the Mr. Miracle series right now, especially after Ava DuVernay tried doing the New Gods those many years ago, and how that broke my heart. I'm like, oh, I wanted to see what she would have done with Tom King. Yeah, and it's just like
she got Naomi instead, unfortunately.
But yeah, fellas, do we have a favorite moment out of this episode? I mean, I talked about a line, but like, how do we feel about a favorite moment? Let's start with you, Taladia.
My favorite moment has to be the hostage,
the DMV,
taking out the DMV guys. I thought that was a really cool moment for me of this episode.
Okay, I you know what? It's weird. I want to give this props. I want to give props to the stunt team. No. The guy, unless it was John, but I'm pretty sure it was a stunt guy. The guy who ran across the railing and jumped into that window of that building. I was just like,
it was a cool fight scene. Yeah,
I was like, cool. And same thing. terrorists that are the Sun. No, what was it? The Sons of Liberty.
Yeah.
Because someone was like, "Yo, the Age of Liberty." Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like them. Kudos to them because getting rammed through like a copy machine and the whole pencil thing. Like, I loved how we feel the work being put into these fights.
Mhm.
Whether we like them or not, I don't know. But like, I just
Yeah.
love that you could feel the energy of timing to make them feel the way we feel about those impacts. In my opinion.
Can I say something as well before I pass it to
No.
Daren?
Yeah.
At least there's no orgy scene in this episode, which I was happy about.
God damn it.
So I was happy about that.
I don't even know how to respond to that. Yes, there is the one. I can't confirm that. That is canon. No orgy in this episode. But we just know that does exist. Yeah. What about you, David? Favorite moment of this episode?
Favorite moment? I don't know if there's like one specific one where I'm like, oh, it's that one. But I mean, I think the opening is up there for me just because I personally didn't. I guess I didn't see that twist coming, even though it was probably quite obvious. Like I was thinking it was the other way, and it was like, we're going deeper than I thought, and I really like the Abadayo and hardcore conversation they have on their rooftop. And just the bonding of those characters. I think those two characters have a lot of chemistry, and I just loved her this whole week, just trying to ship her two friends together, just being like, so what happened? What happened?
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that she kind of has Chris's back in this, where she's just shit talking Chris. He's like, he's he sat with you in the hospital, and he has good hygiene, and he's nice, and he's getting better, and blah blah. And it's just like, now that we have the more contextualized context to what's holding her back a little bit, it's like it's really interesting. And this kind of like, she wants to fold, and she wants to do this, but that guilt is keeping her back. And it's not even like she can talk about it because it wasn't a affair. She can't be like, no, I loved him. It's like, yeah, but you weren't allowed to be. You know what I mean? So I think that's also an interesting element of it. I'm excited to see how they further develop over these next couple of episodes, especially next week, because it seems like it'll be a big one for her next week based on the promo and stuff like that, and morally what direction we end up taking her is going to be interesting.
I'm ever expanding these universe. But speaking of ever expanding and characters, I have a friend of mine who I haven't seen in a while, who I'm glad he's watching the show, and I want to bring him on. That is Brent, Age of Grogu. Brent, how you doing, my friend?
How's it going, guys? How you doing? Sorry,
Hey.
I've been asking me on for a while, Ronan, and I've been busy with a lot of work, and unfortunately, it hasn't scheduled. So I'm got back early enough. I was like, yeah, let's do this. This is awesome.
It's all good. But yeah, Brent, this is Daren.
Yeah.
Daren Talada.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Hey. Brent. So I don't know this. So this is a good conversation, and I do see a comment. We'll bring it up right now in a bit. Have you've seen the first season of Peacemaker, right?
Yes, I have. Yes,
and you've seen the Suicide Squad.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so you're caught up on most of the stuff. How do you feel about this thus far this season, about this show, and where we're at with this episode right now?
I am enjoying this season a little bit more. I think season 1 was just trying to get adapted to James Gunn's universe and trying to see what we're going to get out of this Peacemaker series. And they set up a few things, and I feel like it was not fully conceived, I guess is the best way to say it, with the rest of the DCU at the early stages. But as Superman came into the play, and as they've kind of now following up on a lot more of the Suicide Squad story arcs and stuff like that, I'm enjoying what's going on in this season a lot more, if that makes sense, kind of thing. But
totally, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying the fact with characters like Rick Flag back, and it didn't even occur to me that we would actually see that actor again, coming back to be Rick Flag, and there you go. And that also brings this question: is do they mix and match this universe to bring back some of the people they've lost into the current one? Because I think there is definitely that course of drama. Rick Flag Sr. meeting his, seeing his son, obviously a different version of his son, but how, is that going to happen? A, and B, how will that impact that character as much as we've seen it impact with Peacemaker and with Chris and his father being alive in this particular story, and his brother, obviously. Obviously that universe is off, and it seems perfect, but it is off. I feel like that without having any foreknowledge, it's like I think I made a comment earlier. It's like we haven't seen anybody of color in that universe. We haven't seen any influence of other cultures, and it makes me start to speculate that his father, being such a cheery, good mood all the time, has got what he wanted in this universe, where the Nazis were the ones that dominated the gene pool of that. And I think that's also going to be really cool to see how Chris handles that,
right?
Because I think he is a character of deep conception of the people around him, of all colors, of all races. Even though he's a bit of a douchebag, he still has an incredible connection to all different races of people in his universe. And I think that'll be his drawback, and that's where I think it's going. Again, no knowledge at all, it just simply feels like that's the direction it could be going in this. So I'm excited to see that.
I wonder if Leota goes to that dimension, because she doesn't still believe him, and how that's gonna go. And how she sees how he sees how she accepts him for who he is, and sees the how he can be improved on. And then I wonder how the family's gonna react to he has a friend who's not white. And again, I'm hoping this is not a case.
Yeah.
But context clues, remember, kids, context clues they showed us in middle school and high school.
Oh yeah.
It's why would they go about this way? And funny enough, what if the Sons of Liberty end up being people who wanted to change stuff and make things better?
Oh, totally. Absolutely. That's where it feels like we're going.
Yeah. I'm it's madness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To say what you were saying and picked up on earlier, the stunt work has been really phenomenal. When they've gone to these great stunt scenes, they really have been doing some great stuff, and that's been definitely heavy noted to definitely say too. Cast is fantastic too, just in general. All the cast have been incredible to watch and entertaining. I kind of was a little irritated with Tim Meadows' character at the beginning of everything, and I'm really loving that character now. And this goes back to Superman. When I first saw Superman, there was something that was off for me, and I was like, what is wrong? And I realized after watching it, I was trying to find some sort of groundedness in this reality. And I meant the groundedness like you would see in the MCU. There's, it feels there's New York City, there's Los Angeles, there's this, that. And because they took any groundedness out of everything, not even a Coca-Cola commercial advert in the background, it's all their own Big Belly burgers and this and that, and everything. It suddenly clicked. The bad guy, the villain, the leader of what's it called, the other country, who was over the top, the over the top villain, scraggly hair, and it was like, oh shit, this is a complete 100% comic book character, and I need to learn to get rid of not accept the groundedness I was searching for in these characters, and enjoy it for what it is, a true full comic book based universe. And so now that I'm looking at, say, again, Tim Meadows' character there, I'm just like, okay, this is fantastic. He is a stupid ass character. Makes the idea with
Bird blindness.
bird brain, but it's perfectly acceptable now for me. I'm really enjoying that now that I can let go of that groundedness. And I think that's one thing, for the few people who are having issues with James Gunn's universe, they need to let go of what's trying to ground them to a reality of some sort that they feel is missing. And I did feel that at the beginning in Superman, and now I'm like, okay, now I can take the rest of everything here on with that heart of what and how James Gunn's approaching this whole universe. Anyway, this sorry, I detoured.
No. It's fine. I was thinking about it as well.
Oh, good.
Like, what if the last 3 episodes, apart from the stuff he's hiding behind the curtain, like that's another thing, like that gem of like his character is less about the bird blindness but like he starts growing as a human being.
Oh,
like,
totally.
okay, no more ginger beard. No more, Pokemon and that stuff.
Yes.
Like, okay, like that would be the sweet spot. Like, okay,
right.
Much like Chris, who was very much a douchebag, still kind of is, but he had growth in season 1. So
you're right.
I would not be afraid of that happening, and that'd be a little cherry on top of like, all right, you get full, chocolate sundae, but then there's something else about a character that you might have been on the fences of, but has growth by the end of it.
Yes.
Go ahead, Darren.
I am fascinated to your point, and I'm not sure if I'm fully there yet, but I definitely get what you're saying with that. I am very fascinated then with that point in mind when we get to Lanterns, which is going to be a much darker show, when we get to Clayface, when we get to Swamp Thing, when we get to a lot of these. I'd even argue like Creature Commandos was a lot darker of a show than what typically James Gunn kind of aims for. Yeah. So it is interesting. I think maybe you need to find maybe there's a sweet spot to be met where you can add those comic book elements, whether it's just like at least a little bit of groundingness, because I do agree Tim Meadows was a character where I'm like, I really like you, but there's something holding me back. I think you just needed a little. See,
I've done the reverse. There was something holding me back that I've now let go of and gone, you know what? He is, I mean, he's naturally a very funny comedian actor. He's very incredible. Very funny.
Yeah.
But I didn't take it in until just recently, as I said, until I watched Superman a few months ago. I'm like, okay, now I can accept that character for what he is set out to be, because he is to be that silly, goofy character. But you're right, also, Ronan, the fact that, as long as every one of these characters get an arc, and that's what James Gunn has always been good at. He's good at giving them an arc, whether it's a personal growth development, whether it is a reverse to that, where they become the bad guy, whatever it may be. It's just it's going to be fun to see. I think one of the bigger arcs on this one is going to be Rick Flag Sr. I'm curious to see what his arc, whether it's this season or whether it's beyond this season. I want to see how his character develops with Peacemaker, because we know they're head to head with each other. Are they going to ever see eye to eye? And I think that's also a great little.
I'm also really excited to see if this is like the snotty world that we're kind of theorizing.
Yeah.
How is he going to think about his son? Right? How is he going to think about his son who's potentially ingrained into a very terrible world? You know what I mean? So I think that's going to be an interesting element.
Well, let's talk about Rick Flag in that universe. He's a bit of a
nerd.
Goofball. Definitely. Yeah. You're right.
Hiding behind things. And
Told not to be there. That's dangerous.
Is it
the trash can?
Is it? Yeah. Is it an act? Is it Is it something else? Is he part of the Sons of Liberty or something? We just don't know about it yet. I don't know. Again, I'm throwing out random thoughts. But he seems off in this universe too, in his own little way, for some reason.
Right.
Like
I threw out on mine, and I said it very early on before they started to be a full-on terrorist attack. But I was like, is it going to be the twist that they're actually secretly the good guy, just trying to take back the rights of the people, kind of thing? I was like, is that going to be the ultimate twist? I was like, oh, I could see it. You know what I mean?
Much like the Suicide Squad, where it's like, all right, we're killing all these people. No, wait, they're the good guys. They're what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, I would love that.
yeah,
Right.
this world is too good to be true. It's that
Mhm.
was I feel like this is the shoe to drop. So yeah,
Yes.
And again,
Yeah.
that whole thing of like Chris trying to talk to his alternate of like dimension, like yo, let me just explain, let me tell you the thing, and the other dimension, like Chris wouldn't do it. And this
Yeah.
one, he's in he's on that zone. He's next to his girl. He wants to be that
Yeah.
hero,
Mhm.
and he doesn't
Yeah.
even think to ask him a question like, "Why are you doing this? Like, please stop." Just
Yeah.
like
Right.
knows what he likes to do, and it's just like
Right.
I hope that comes into play later on as well. I think.
Yeah.
Like,
But Ronnie, you got to remember, in this episode, his brother destroyed the helicopter.
I
No
know that's what I'm saying.
Without
That, like,
thinking.
No,
Yeah.
no,
like
without
I
thinking,
wonder
no
that's
question.
what's that about as well. Yeah.
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 So I'll say this. What Here Journey says. What if the two Earths ends up combining when trying to close them? I'll say this, that like I really hope they wait for that type of scenario for a
Yeah.
big event like Crisis and whatnot. Like, that's when you
Right.
do this stuff.
Mhm.
Like, and again, I get where that concept comes from, but I'm like, remember, don't let the plot overcome the characters'
Yeah.
motivations and vibes. That
Yeah.
keep the plot right underneath it, and then you
Yeah.
make sure the character stuff is handled first.
Yeah. And then development as well. I think Darren, you said
Yes.
it best when it's like this story early on in the phase is dealing with parallel universes and pocket dimensions and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Close it down, get to a point soon, close it down, let it rest for a while, and open up when you need something really big to happen somewhere down the
Right.
track. Because I feel like we now have enough of an understanding to this universe where we just now want to explore this universe and not have to explore every other universe in between it all at the same time as we're trying to explore this universe too. So
Yeah,
and I'm hoping that's where
it's very ballsy for your second live action project to be like multiverse. Like I said like a year ago, I was like, oh, they're not going to touch multiverse for like 10 years, and then you're like, you
especially
sucker.
since we're so sick of it from the MCU at the moment. It's like,
But it's like what I love about the multiverse. Like multiverse is my
sure.
like favorite sci-fi concept, and I think
me
it's
too.
really got
Along with
muddled
time travel.
down. Yes, it got muddled down over the last like 5 years because it's like cameo, show me this, but this version. It's like, well, no, there's a lot of various great concepts of that with like everything everywhere all at once, and like what the Arrowverse did, and like a lot of these like various stories throughout very well-made pieces of TV and movies. And it's not about, hey, look at this character from this other franchise. It's these intersected stories and being able to look at this kind of side version of what you are. And I think they've been able to tell so far. And again, we still have what, 5 episodes, five episodes left.
5,
yeah. So I'm excited to see kind of where they ultimately end up taking it.
Yeah. Speaking of taking it, I want to give a shout out, Jeffrey, saying, speaking of DC, happy anniversary to Batman the Animated Series. That is, I saw that and I was like, what the fuck, man? That is wild. It's this old. And
so good.
Again, I think, just to give one more shout out to it, like quality. I think I could even, you can make the comparison like, no, it's live action animation. This is a quality show that came back in the days, and because of that show, it sparked a lot of everything that followed afterwards, I think.
Clayface coming up. They're basing it around the
its echoes are still
version.
brewing.
Which is great. I mean, we saw the first photos leak, from sets.
From the sets and whatnot. Yeah. I'm really excited for that one. And again, that's one that like, you guys were mentioning about how we feel about Lanterns and Supergirl and Clayface. And like this is the last thing that James Gunn is gonna have his hands on fully
for a minute,
before he does Man of Tomorrow. So after that, for a while, it's gonna be Supergirl, Lanterns, and Clayface.
Yes.
He's the oversight, but as and this is where people will have fair to be like, yo, keep your word. Let them, the creators, the directors and writers, do their thing. It's up to you to make sure all that stuff fits in the same universe, but it doesn't feel the exact same way. After those 3 projects is when we could fully like have a conversation like, okay, how are we feeling about the DC universe? Is it what we were promised? And is it well balanced? Because that's the thing. Like, you could have all type of flavors. All type of flavors are welcome to the party. You might have favorites, but they are all part of the party. And I hope that we feel that sentiment felt throughout it. And that's why I don't want Peacemaker to feel like Supergirl or Lanterns, but I don't want Lanterns and Supergirl to feel like Peacemaker.
Mhm.
That's what makes each of them, hopefully will make each of them unique and stand out. And if anything, it will welcome more people who are not too comic related or big fans of it. It's like, all right, get in on the ground. You don't have to be a big fan of these characters like I was. I barely knew who Peacemaker was before the Suicide Squad. But before that, but by then I was like, all right, I get this, and I'm very interested to see how this take goes, where it doesn't just go for just the yucks. That if it has a heart that I wanted to follow, then I'll go with it as well. And the details, all about the details, which points to my notes of these two comments. Keyblade Master Jeffrey says, if you look closely at the American flag in that dimension, it's rolled up to where you can see only the stripes, red, white, and blue, but you can't see the stars. And then Hero Jerry says that I noticed the helicopter was a military version, so is the Sun Celebrity a small army resistance? You see those details. That's what I'm talking about. That's the water cooler shit. That all right, we look into it. And it's like, okay, are those hints? And it's like, all right, if we right now go online and ask James on all social media and he doesn't respond to it, A, it's because he's busy, but also it's like, damn, okay, they're asking the right questions, but I can't tell you until you watch the rest of the season.
Right. Yeah.
I think you might be onto something, Brent. Something you mentioned earlier about Rick Flag Jr. maybe being part of that group. I think you could be onto something there. Like maybe he's freaking out about Peacemaker being there not because of hardcore, because he knows who he is and he's afraid he's going to get in the way of this like sting that they're planning with this resistance. Like I could see that being kind of a fun twist of like, oh shit, he isn't a goofball. He's just freaking out because of what's about to happen.
Yeah. That is smooth. That would be smooth.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and the fact that we know we know very little of the parallel universe, but we also know very little of Chris in that universe too. That's true. So, was he the same as this version of Chris? Was he something different? Was he, doing a lot worse? I don't know. I mean, the fact that he's still taking pills and they allude to this, and I feel like there's some other deeper stuff going on there.
Right.
That maybe he didn't, could he have not seen eye to eye with his father in this universe and his brother as well?
Right.
And to give it even deeper meaning, this, right now, our version of Chris is like, he's got everything his heart desires. He's got his father who loves him. He's got his brother who is alive. And it's very emotional. I think James does a very good job at pulling the emotional strings in his writing with that sort of stuff. So
but I also
until the rug gets pulled out underneath everybody, and then we all drop with it.
I feel with this universe, like Chris has got like that in the alternate universe. He's got the styling. He's styling and profiling, right? Yeah. Like as they say, Roland knows what I'm all about, right? Yeah. So he's got all the style. He's got the look. He's got the chain. He's got the motorbike. Yeah. It makes you wonder that. If he's that popular in that universe, will our universe, Chris Smith, will he stay in that dimension?
Yeah, and I hope that. Go ahead,
That begs the question: will he stay in that dimension and say, "Look, I got the fame. I've got all this stuff. I've got nice clothes. I got my girlfriend. I've got all these things." I don't want to go back to my own universe. I want to stay in this universe.
Yeah. That would also break my heart. Oh, go ahead, Darren.
No, go ahead. It's fine. Go ahead.
That was what would break my heart. Is just like he sees the eye candy, but it's like, well, what about Leota? What about Adrian? Like, what about your friends here who are like,
what about Eagly?
Yeah, what about
Eagly? Where is Eagly?
You really want to let that go already? Like, yeah.
Do we think this is?
Sorry.
Oh. It's fine. Go ahead.
But I was going to say also at the end of the episode, he steps back in the door. Is he about to get himself, arrested?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? I can't wait to see next week's episode.
Yeah.
Is he going to get stopped from returning to that universe? What are the questions going to be? Why have you gone so long again? All that stuff that being back and forth. Sorry, I didn't mean to bother.
No, it's fine. Do we think this is like a Fantastic Four style thing where they are the only heroes of this earth, because we've heard nothing of a Superman, of a Batman. The way they like cheer for him inside the streets as if he's like Superman or something. Like I could see maybe he's this world's only protector or something, is why he is so popular.
Could be.
Which would be interesting.
That'd be fascinating, because again, like early on they mentioned, I thought you were in Bloodhaven, and it's just like, so are they covering that much, land area as being heroes? Like, it'd be really fascinating. That's interesting. And if there are other superheroes, how are they different than the way we would perceive them in the DCU?
Right.
Yeah.
And are they against the top trio? Like, it's
yeah, because if there's a Superman here, I'd be like, well, why didn't they stop this like Nazi world, if that's what this is? Like, where was Batman when this was all kind of inspiring?
Here's the other thing. I mean, we keep hitting all these rumors about these last 3 episodes, how it's a completely different story arc. Steve Agee has kind of said, it's like you're reading a completely different script for a new season. We're getting all these hype theories about, of characters popping up, and we know they've been shooting lanterns, so why wouldn't they pull one of those cast members across? We know that Blue Beetle's still out there. And the question is, who are these characters, if any, in this parallel universe? Do we get to see parallel versions of these characters anyway, or do we, I don't know what story they would have to play in the current universe, in the current, it seems like everything under Argus is pretty self-set and, organized there. But maybe they could go crazy in the other universe, showing off. I don't know. Maybe we don't know yet.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think Jeffrey says that. Didn't think about that. Could he be probably the only organization part of the team? By the way, why the fuck doesn't have a peace cycle? Peace cycle. I don't think that the others. There are others, but if there were, I assume they're also Nazi. Yeah, I really,
Brightburn.
Yeah. There's a clip came out after the first episode, like on this season of Peacemaker, and there's a clip of Rick Flag Sr. and something else that I don't want to allude to, and I was just like, I'm making a video about it, and I'm like, holy shit, what does that mean? Is that an in-universe thing? Is that a dimension thing? Like, what does that mean? That element? I'll say this, that like as soon as that episode 5 drops and we take in what's happened by then, it's gonna be a long week to be like, okay, what's happening next? Because he said episode 6 and 8 are his favorite things he's ever done. And that's after 4 movies and a TV special and a season and 2 seasons of television that he's been part of. Like, I'm really interested to see how that's gonna go, and how as a whole will that enhance the experience, or would that bring down the experience? Because it was like, because that was 5 weeks of us being like, just wait.
Right.
Take it all you can right now, but just wait. And it's just like,
I mean, it feels like that's the other shoe dropping in this other universe. And I feel like the fact that, does Peacemaker rise up against his brother and his father to, free everybody and help and then how does that end up by, him at the end of the season?
Right. And, like you had the statement that came out, I think it was yesterday, where he said Peacemaker directly connects to Man of Tomorrow. Like, I kind of hope it's more isolated. I hope it's not like, we're dealing with this stuff in Man of Tomorrow.
I think James opens his mouth a little too much sometimes, but I wish he would stay quiet in some cases, because it's like he keeps giving away his own surprises.
Like, I would think it would be like, I think it would be one of those things where, like, at the end of the season, he's like, okay, we're gonna do a live stream. You got answer, throw me any questions, and I can answer them. I will be here and sit here for an hour and answer the questions, and like we'll pull them up and be like, interesting. Next question, and that's the case. Like, okay, we leave that for us to like speculate and see if we want to, if that might play at one point. But yeah, I had a blast with this episode. My God.
Yeah. It was fun.
I think I'm going to start wrapping.
I felt like it should have been longer.
Sure. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Even for a short episode, I was amazed how much they had in this episode. bonkers.
I didn't want it to end.
Exactly. That's the best compliment
Yeah.
I can give it. I did not want it to
Yeah.
end.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start wrapping things up. I want to go around the circle and want to hear everybody's final thoughts on the episode and what we expect for season 5 and where we can find you. And I want y'all to
Season
Season five.
5?
I mean season 5. Where we get to episode 4
Jump 10
season
years.
5.
of season 2. Yeah,
Yep.
and also plug yourselves. I want everybody to do
Mhm.
that. So, fellas, thank you so much for taking the time. Let's start with Brent. Brent, where can people
Okay.
find you? And please tell us your final thoughts on episode 3.
Yeah, they can follow me on Age of Grogu, and usually every Sunday we do a live stream. I usually will drop videos on toy unboxings and episodes and stuff like that. I haven't actually been doing reactions to Peacemaker. I've just been so busy with work. So I think I'm doing stuff for Alien Earth, though, which has been really also a fun show.
Yeah.
Interesting, at least. But yeah, we haven't collaborated on that yet, either, Ronan, so I can't wait to collaborate with that, on that.
Yeah,
sometime.
man.
So yeah, you can catch me on Brent Age of Grogu or Age of Grogu, and social media is the same as that on Twitter the other one. Oh my goodness, Instagram. Oh my goodness, wow.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. And what did I think of this episode? And what am I anticipating?
Final thoughts, yeah.
I very much enjoyed this episode. I'm glad we've gotten as quick as we have since the setup was there. We've gotten very quickly moving very wow, really am twisting my words there. A really well-paced and fast-moving arc that is moving at a substantial rate. We're not dragging to wait about this universe. We really are in the thick of it, and we've got a lot of questions. So I'm enjoying trying to anticipate what those questions are going to be answered and when they're going to be answered and how they're going to be answered. So,
Yeah,
cool.
beautiful. Thank you, Brent. Claudia?
As for me, I thought the episode was brilliant. I thought it was short, but it was brilliant. I loved it. I got to give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. And honestly, I'm looking forward to next week's episode. Can't wait to see more of Peacemaker. Can't wait to see more action. I can't wait to see more of Rick Flag Jr. if he's appearing in that episode. So I can't wait for that. And I can't wait for Eagly to take out the gang, the Argus. I can't wait to see that as well. So as for me though, you can check me on YouTube at Taladia Plays and on X at Taladia Plays _. What I got coming up on my channel is I'm covering 007 First Light, which is a James Bond video game. I've done a couple of videos already on that, and I've got another video talking about the Legacy Edition, and I'll be discussing why it's ridiculous for $300 for a collector's edition for that game. And then I'll also be discussing about. I also got a video planned up for Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. That video is coming out, and also got to be discussing Injustice 3. That's all coming next week. And also I've got Peacemaker episodes 1 to 5 collaboration coming up with Dave the Film Junkie. So stay tuned for that.
Beautiful. Daren?
No, I really enjoyed this episode. Doing some very fun, interesting stuff. I'm excited to see where the rest of the season leads and what it has in store. I feel like the season is just going to go up from here. And if it does stick that landing, I do think it will probably be one of my favorite DCU projects so far. But we will have to wait and see. Like always, you can find me over at Daren Sanctuary. I do After the Credits on Mondays. We do the Pipeline on Thursdays. You've seen both Taladia and Ronan on the show many times before, so go check out those episodes if you want more of just kind of that dynamic. And thanks for having me once again.
Thank you, man. I've been loving watching this season thus far. This has been the plus. Each week we have an excuse to just meet up and just geek out about this shit. And we spend over an hour just for most part just theorizing about the potential where we're at with the dimension. And that's the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot of a great show that at points are the comedy hitting? No, but it gets us enough engagement with it. And I seek that on a weekly basis as much as I can. And you can find that similar energy on all their podcasts, on all their live streams. I can't recommend it enough to go check out these people's work. And you can find me here on Run and Chain every week. We'll be covering Peacemaker. I'm wrapping things up with Alien Earth pretty soon, and I'll be looking to see stuff post Peacemaker season 2 DC related, because I've been bubbling some ideas that some of the fellas know about. But yeah, Party Nations on Tuesdays, Nerdcast on Mondays and Thursdays, if I'm remembering my scheduling right. Council Creators on Wednesdays, and this, man, please stick the landing. It's too good right now. Please stick the landing, Mr. Gunn and team and y'all. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to check this out. Share the enthusiasm, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and give Peace a fucking chance, everybody.